Greetings 8th grade class and welcome to this lesson for Wednesday the 7th of January. So far we've seen the formation of New Orleans, we've seen the Ursulines, and we've also had a pretty good grounding on Code Noir. But whilst all that was going on, the running of the colony, the French colony of Louisiana, didn't prove to be all that profitable for the people of the Company of the West, and as such, the man that bore the brunt of the blame for this was Bienville. So as a result, he was recalled back to France, and a replacement was sent in to govern the colony. However, whilst Bienville had very good relations with the Native Americans in the colony, the same could not have been said for his successor, as we'll see now in this video exploring the Indian Wars of Louisiana. Take a look.
Bienville had finally managed to carve a colony out of the wilderness. He'd escaped storms, starvation, and the scourge of disease. But he couldn't escape politics. Amidst controversy, Bienville was recalled to France. His successor was Commandant Etienne de Perier. Unfortunately, he did not share Bienville's esteem for Louisiana's Indians.
Before the French came amongst us, we were men, content with what we had. We walked with boldness every road, because we were then our own masters. But now we go groping, afraid of meeting thorns. We walk like slaves, which we shall soon be, since the French already treat us as if we were such.
Once allies of the French under Bienville, the Natchez launched a surprise attack against the colonists at Fort Rosalie.
The tribes cut the throats of all except 3 or 4, who fortunately escaped and brought the news here. The men were set afire and left to burn slowly for the entire day. The post was utterly destroyed. Jean-Charles de Pradel.
Outraged, Perier retaliated by exterminating almost the entire Natchez nation. The few who survived were taken in by the Chickasaw Indians. But the war dealt a heavy blow to the colony. Nearly 10% of the French population had been killed, and the rest were fearful and demoralized. Yet again, the colony turned to Bienville. Bienville was 53 years old when he took command of Louisiana for a third time. As a young man, he had earned the respect of the Indians, and the colonists hoped he would restore peace to Louisiana. But instead, Bienville found himself fighting another bloody war, this time against the Chickasaw tribe.
Part of the reason for the Chickasaw Wars in 1736 and 1740, aside from trying to get the Natchez back, was also to retain control of the river.
As pawns of the British, the Chickasaws were well armed. Time after time, they defeated the French and their Indian allies in a humiliating war that dragged on for years. By the time peace finally came, Bienville had grown old in the service of the king.
The labor, anxiety, the trouble of mind which I have had to bear has so enfeebled my health that I should not hesitate to beg you to give me leave to come over to France by the first vessel of the king. I wish only that the officer who will be chosen to succeed me may be happier than I. Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne, Sieur de Bienville.
Discouraged and exhausted, Bienville retired and left Louisiana for good. On March 7th, 1767, nearly 3/4 of a century after he and his brother first explored the muddy waters of the Mississippi, Bienville died in Paris at the age of 88. A bachelor his entire life, Bienville left no children, but he bears the rightful title, Father of Louisiana.